Free like a bird, but also louder. And my footsteps on the ground.
So the first thing we gotta do is we need our 3 footages here. I've thankfully for myself, I've named them 1, 2, 3. 1 was match 1, 2 was match 2, 3 was match 3. It was 3 in a tournament. Still, that doesn't matter, but this is just for organization. I know this is match 1, match 2, match 3. Match 3 is the one we lose. So here's the way I'd like to think of it. I like to use the analogy that editing a video is kind of like putting a puzzle together for me, because I don't know exactly how this puzzle is going to look at the end. I don't know the picture. What I can do is I can take the pieces of the puzzle. How do you normally do a puzzle? You put the pieces together that you can clearly see match, and then you work out from there. So that's how I like to edit my videos, which might be a little bit unorganized for a lot of other people. And if you don't want to do it this way, then that's fine. But just know that that's kind of how I'm doing this video, whether you want to do it that way or not. The reason why I'm doing it is there's a few things I already know I'm doing to this video that I can start with, and then branch off from there, fill in the gaps, and then make the final puzzle, because things become a lot easier once I have stuff already laid down. I just need to put them down first, right? Get some stuff done. Work on the stuff I know until the stuff I don't know comes into play. Like for instance, the beginning of the video, I'm not going to do yet. I'm going to end up putting like a big blank space like this, because I don't know exactly how I want to do it.
Miles away from home. Steps are difficult. I'm exhausted.
He's talking about his past, right? The nostalgia, the journey that he's taken to get to the point he's at, right? You guys remember this. You just saw this. That's not in the game. That'd be too simple. That's not in like the actual matches. I plan on having that in the plaza or something like that. But how I want to do it, not quite sure. I got to figure that part out. That'll come. But I definitely don't have the footage for it yet. So there's no point in me trying to get that footage and realizing it's not the right footage. I want to make sure I know what I'm doing before I record. So I'm going to work with what I have right now. I'm going to get this. This is technically the more tedious part anyways.
Free like a bird, but
Yeah, because the free like a bird part, I'm kind of seeing, I'm matching that up with like the beginning go, this part here. Free like a bird, we're all getting free. We were trapped inside spawn, now we can get out. I might have some B-roll of some birds flying. It might be a nice touch, but this is definitely the A-roll. This is definitely the main footage I want to use. But before we do that, I don't know which one, because both of the first 2 are victories, and that I know, remembering the song, I know that I want to start on with a victory, then a loss, then a victory. So it has a happy ending. But I don't know which victory to use. And we were thinking chronological, but before we do that, I want to see how the end of both of them work. Because, like I said earlier, the beginning and the end of a song is the most important thing. Sorry, the beginning and the end of a video is the most important thing. The way this begins doesn't matter. Compared to how, like, deciding this doesn't change how it begins. We already established that we're starting in the plaza and whatnot, right? The square, I mean. But how the song ends, now that definitely matters in this case. I'm thinking 2 things. I could splice this up and then organize it based on maps, or just keep the teams together. This was team 1 that we faced, team 2 that we faced, team 3 we faced and lost. I'd like to keep the teams together based on the song. First bit of the song where we win, that was against the first team. Second was the next team. Third was the last team. That's how I want to do it. Instead of matching up the stages. What I'm looking for here, I think, it's kind of more of a feeling, what I think I'm looking for is something that looks really open, because it's a relief. If you've watched like an anime or a cartoon, as soon as you beat the final antagonist, the victory, the piece has been restored, I think there's an association with claustrophobia. People are scared of tight spaces. People like big, open, peaceful. Open, blank spaces are peaceful. Very congested places are not peaceful. So, they have the antagonist, clouds are coming in. Oh, everything's getting all hectic. There's noise everywhere. There's, around the screen is going to be ink, right? That's like in danger, basically. And also in the song, we're going to be playing on the just breathe part is like right before I'm getting killed. Is kind of what I envision. I didn't say that earlier, but where it says just breathe, you're calming down. It's because in the game, if you're taking too much damage, then you hide in ink and you evade and you wait until the border because the ink shows around the border if you've gotten too much damage and you're on your character and you're going to die. You're waiting for that to slowly fade away. So as it's building up, just breathe or calm down. Oh, and then it disappears and I get right back into it, get the kill, because I was able to heal well enough, kind of recover, and then get into it. That was kind of, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That was kind of what I was going for. You know what? Let's do chronological. After all of that, I don't know if I skipped through it or not. I've decided we're just going to do it chronologically, make it simple. There's not enough of a reason for me to think about this that I'm just going to do it chronologically. Of course, minus the one match that we lose at the end should be in the middle to match the song. I've done it enough times. I'm going to take the lobby setups because you see everyone anyways. So there's no point in having the lobby. So I'm going to cut that part out. Getting back into, like, now we're getting rid of the puzzle pieces that are not part of this puzzle. Maybe the box got mixed up with another box, you know? There's our footage. Really, all of this, most of it, is going to just be this much of the song. It's gonna work out to be one minute worth. 1 minute. We're gonna turn 14 minutes. Yeah, 14 minutes into 1 minute. So here's the first step. I'm probably gonna time lapse through this so you guys don't have to wait through it. But what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be using markers, whatever that is in your program. But these little things, I just push M and it puts a little marker on the footage for me. I'm going to be putting markers wherever I die, just for organization, so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm also going to color code this, just so that it looks a little bit more organized for me, so that I can kind of differentiate between the different ones. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll color coordinate them so I can see what's going on. Put the markers in all the kills. The reason why I'm color coding it is because I'm going to want to weave between the stages. I don't want to have like all one stage and then suddenly jump to another one. I want to be consistently weaving between them, kind of blend them together nicely. And right now it's hard to differentiate segment one, segment. You can see it right now because you can see the little previews here, but it's going to get a little bit more difficult. Also, fun little fact, the way I like to do it is I'm looking for the little bottom splatted thing, right? As soon as you see that, you know you can put the marker down. Just a fun little tip I thought I'd share with you guys. Okay, back to me going through this quickly. So yeah, I'm going to color code it, color code it, and put some markers in wherever I end up getting a kill, because that's really what I want to show, because I want to show kills, like I'm winning in this case, right? Okay, so it looks like we got it all keyed up. Now there's some that I die in the process. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just make it look a little bit different for me. You can make it blue, you can make it red. It's a different thing, but I want the color coordination here. So I want to change the ones where I died to a different color, just so that I can see, because here's what I think when I'm making a music montage. If I get a kill, but then I die, and it's got that whole die animation or whatever, except for one instance in the Age of Vian music montage where I just reversed it. It's kind of hard to transition from that. You died. So like, how are you going to go back into another scene where you're already alive? No, you got to now you got to revive, and that's going to take time away from your music montage. So that's why I don't have a lot of deaths, because it doesn't look as smooth. It doesn't flow from one scene to another, and I like to transition between them really well. So I'm going to just make sure that the ones where I'm only getting the kills are a little bit different. The ones where I'm dying, maybe I think I'm gonna change it to like this or something, make it red. Now what we want to do is decide what match we're starting with. I normally like to weave between the four of them. Let's listen to the song. Not so much the visuals, it just happens to be there right now, but let's listen to the song and kind of see if we can see what we want to do in our head based on what we're hearing. As much as this whole scene right here, the zooming in would be nice for that, I think I want the go explosion. So what I'm going to do there is right at the white, I'm going to cut this bit out because I might use that. What's the lyrics again? Free like a bird but also bound? Free like a bird but also bound. And my footsteps on the ground. Okay, that, my footsteps on the ground. I want my inkling to look back at the ink. If and there's any instance near the beginning, before we get into the later bits of this, that I look back, that would be excellent. Oh, perfect. Pretty much looking back, even though it's for inking purposes, I might go with the orange. And my footsteps on the... Well, it was lagging there because I was going too fast. My footsteps... Yeah, that's good. We're going with that one. So again, this is perfect. We got 4 matches, so I got to take advantage of that. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, orange. Because we know that's that scene, right? 4 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. We might cut it a little bit early. But essentially that's the 4 breakdown we want. So let's see if we can, we know orange is the last one. Let's see if we can, again, puzzle pieces, right? Let's work with what we got. Let's work backwards. Free like a bird. I think this one's kind of representing that. Because I jump up like a bird. That's the symbolism. Free like a bird, but also bound. So that's when I want to hit down on the ground. What I'm going to do is okay, I got it. I drop down, go into the ink, and then as I go into the ink, I'm going into the ink in another scene. We know orange is last. I think, let's start with this one. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, I'm getting excited. Okay, cool. So free like a bird, but I think this is the one where I just like fall down. Oh, this one looks so beautiful though. Bird, but wait, no, how's it go again? And my footsteps, yeah. So like that's leading up to the next thing. So I don't really need to use that. Oh, you know what we can do? Oh, I know. Coming up. Oh, yes. Let's use these clips so we can see. Does my character look up right before the match starts? Sometimes that happens. No. Okay, so that one looks to the right. Let's hide that for a sec. Darn it. No, I usually have a steady cam. All right. Can't do that because I wanted... Something good's coming up, so it would have been nice to have him slowly looking up cinematically. But we don't have that footage. So I kind of like this one, but I think I'm going to go with this one. This one? No. Red. Yes, because the stage looks beautiful. And he says free like a bird, and there are birds in this one. Even though there's not as much flying aspect going on here. We'll find out what color we're using in a second. Let's break right there. Or let's break a little bit sooner. Don't let him touch the ground, because then you can see that impact. Right before he touches the ground. Now we're going to want to transition to the next scene. We're ending with orange. Hopefully that's at the end. No, okay, hold on. Orange. Orange, you're a nice color and all. But I need you, hun, at the end, okay? Because you're the one that's looking back. You paranoid person, you. That one has a hesitation when they fall. This one, I think, falls really smoothly. Or not. It's fine. Let's make it work. We'll do this. No. So we've already gotten past the break part. Let's go into the ink. Like that. Free like a bird, but essentially I want to see him like just jumping into it basically. Okay, he jumps up there. So let's transition that if we can. What's the next color? Blue. Can we wiggle blue in? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm matching what's happening the last thing that's happening in the previous scene. So you see he's kind of like, he's just about to land and then essentially going into the ink is what I'm going for here. And then this one he's jumping out. So I want, hopefully, me jumping out here. A little bit diagonal, but it's fine. Let's cut all this bit out. See how smooth that looks? Pretty much on the exact same. That's where your eye is, right? So you want to look. Booyah, sadly, is different. We can match up the booyahs, but then I don't think it'll match up the inkling, which is kind of what we want here. He's too high here. I could do that maybe. Oh, perfect. So again, we got some rotation happening here. So let's take advantage of that. So let's do like here, because I know the last scene we're doing, the orange one here, is he's rotating because we want to look back at our footsteps. And that's going to look so sexy. So let's clip all this first bit out. So we'll polish this up a bit, but basically you'll see the idea. See? He's turning in the first one and basically continuing to turn the second one. Oh, beautiful. Look at the 4. Let's enjoy what we've already accomplished, which is only like 1 second of footage. Wow, beautiful.